Hi everybody, welcome back to my patio. To get on the patio with me for the last time in my summer series here. Um, as you can see, I've got a jacket on today. It has gotten bloody chilly. Um, you can certainly tell that summer is over, even though it's not officially over until the 21st of this month, as today is September the 5th. But it's certainly, temperature-wise, it's telling us that, summertime is over. Beach time is done. Swimming pools may as well be closed because the water, unless you like swimming in ice or you belong to the Polar Bear Club here in Canada, um, you're not going to be using it anymore this year. So you may as well, close up shop and wait until warm weather next year returns. Um, this has been, as I said in my last video, um, I wasn't going to be doing my last one until this week. School is back in. Um, the noise of the street still hasn't settled down, but that's par for the course on the street that I live on. And but I just put up with it. I'm out here a little bit earlier today because the daylight has been fast going when I sit out here in the evenings like I was doing in my earlier videos. I mean, that was lovely. I mean, the daylight stayed until at least, well, in the earlier videos, at least until, um, I would say by the time I started doing these videos, um, it would stay daylight at least until 8:45. And but over the course of the time since I've done these 12 videos, um, I've noticed a very noticeable amount of diminishing light earlier and earlier each evening. And I got through wedding weekend. Yay! It was absolutely phenomenal. Um, everything, everything about it, it was just absolutely perfect. My granddaughter never looked lovelier. Um, the entire the entire day from the beginning till the end was happy. It was exciting. It was just wonderful. um, and I couldn't be happier for her and for Garrett. um, a wonderful, beautiful couple they make. And uh, and everyone that was there, they all made merry and celebrated the young couple in the way that it should be, and just celebrated and celebrated and celebrated. Pictures are slowly trickling in. I managed to get a few pictures done myself that I had. I had my camera with me, and I am no photographer. I cannot lay claim to that talent. Um, Carson is the photographer. Um, and excellent photographer. As I said, I think if she could have shot it herself, the wedding, she would have done it, but of course that would have been impossible. The photographer that she had do it, extremely talented young man, certainly has the perfect eye for what it is he's after. And I understood it was a phenomenal amount of pictures that were taken. But of course, with digital photography, it doesn't take long to add the count, for the count number to rise, because it's that when that shutter's open and it's just going, chick, 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 and it's all those pictures. And so I really, really look forward to seeing a lot of those pictures, especially the ones that Carson chooses to use and to put in her wedding album. It was great seeing family that traveled down for the wedding that I haven't seen in a while, um, and having time together and catching up and all that goes with the celebration of a beautiful wedding. And so I'm going to raise my glass once again to Carson and Garrett. May you have many, many, many years of happiness, prosperity, love, and safety. So cheers from Grandma. Now today, I'm not going to do a reading. I'm just going to sort of sit and talk to you because this is the very last video in this impromptu series on my patio here with my raspberry vines. As you can see there, they are trying to give another harvest. Now whether they'll make it before frost decides to visit, I really don't know. It would be wonderful to have another crop of raspberries. These are red raspberries, and I did not plant these. I can't take credit for these. My next door neighbor planted raspberry bushes, I would say now 30 years ago, because I've been at this residence for 33 years. And I know I'm aging myself, but still, or dating myself, but that's okay. And of course, these crept under the fence and came on my side of the fence. And it's so nice to be able to have raspberries in the summertime. It's very, very nice. And my preference is black raspberries, but still, when they come to me in the way that they came to me, I'm certainly not going to complain. And so it's nice, you can come out and get some raspberries and put on your cereal in the morning and sit here on the patio and just enjoy the garden and enjoy listening to the birds and everything that is out here to enjoy. And so I'm thinking about back over the series of videos that I have done here in this summer series, and the different topics that I spoke about, offering information, maybe some advice, however it's taken, but at least it's there. It's almost like hopefully paying forward from my experiences in writing and publishing to possibly help somebody else that may be struggling with no guidance, because I definitely know how that feels, and it's not nice. You can find yourself, just walking blindly or walking in the dark and not knowing where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. Like, how do I do this? I mean, I finished my manuscript, and now how do I get it published? How do I get it noticed once it is published? Um, and, getting yourself in touch with people that you need, marketing um, people that know that field and know what they're doing, and believes in your work, for one thing, that will help to get you out there and bring more notice to your work, and to bring more notice to you as the writer of that work. And as I said in a few videos, trying to get managers of bookstores to notice you. I mean, it's all great to have a great online presence. In this day and age, the internet is where it's at for so many, many, many things, and books are right up there with everything else. But you need to be known in your own area. That people know who you are. Um, And that way it makes it so much easier to be able to have work come to you, have engagements come to you. When you approach a manager of a store, um, they know who you are, and so therefore it just makes it so much easier to do business and to have that rapport back and forth like you need to establish. And as I said at the beginning, it was just almost impossible at times. It was impossible. But that's where the belief in yourself comes in, knowing that I can do this, and I am not going to be told that I can't, or have all kinds of obstacles put before you. Um, some that just show up because it's just part of the process of writing and getting it out there, and then there are those types of obstacles that can be purposely put in front of you for whatever the reason. But that's where the resilience comes in, the passion to write comes in, and to be able to know that I can do this regardless of what's set before me, and I will do it. And you'll find that you will do it. And but as I've said before, one of the main things to remember through it all, the frustration, maybe the accolades, everything that comes with all of it, is to enjoy it and have fun with it. And if you can do that and stay focused on that, then you'll do fine. You'll do great. Um, I was talking about newsletters, my end of month newsletter that I do every month, where I talk about what I've done that month, whether it's been a lot or a little or whatever, just something to keep in touch with my readers. One of the things you need to do is build a list of followers, have people's emails. When I've done events in the past, I always ask for, when people purchase my work, I always ask if they would please kindly give me their email so that I can add them to my mailing list. And over time, that list grows and grows and grows. And those are the people who have bought your work earlier. And when you have a new title come out, that then you can notify them to let you know, I've just released a new title, and would you be interested in learning a little more about it? And if so, contact me, and we'll go from there. And it's very, very important to build your mailing list. And over the amount of time that I've been doing this, my mailing list has grown considerably to what it once was. And so that's good. And it continues to grow, and I hope it does continue to grow. And each month when I do my newsletter, I send it out to all these people on my mailing list. And I was saying that I wasn't sure just how long I have been doing this, but I checked it. I checked the library on my website of where it goes right back to the very, very beginning in my journal when I started, keeping things in my journal, and which is public to anybody that wants to go on my website and have a look and have a read. It's www.rusty-blackwood.com, and on my main page are all of the areas, the little buttons at the top that you can click on and go to all the different areas on my website and find out all the different things that you might be interested in learning about. And so I checked it back, and I started doing my newsletter in 2013. So that's a long time ago. That was back when I had brought out Passions in Paris, Revelations of a Lost Diary, my grand scale novel. And so it was after that that I started to do, or during that time, I started to do the monthly newsletter. So that's a long time, 6 years, going on 7 years soon. And but I like doing the newsletter because it helps me to stay in touch with my readers. Hopefully, I hope that they enjoy receiving this monthly news that I send out. Some months there's more to talk about. Some, there's been more things happening, going on with me than there are other months, because during the main part of the summer and the dead of the winter, I don't do public events. I don't take book signing dates. I don't go out and do things because, well, in the summer, it's holiday time. And like anybody, writers deserve to have holidays and downtime and things to enjoy themselves with and to do. And I'm no different. And of course, in the winter, because of the inclement weather, you never know when you're going to get a storm. And and, it's not a matter of life and death. If you don't get to a signing or whatever and something happens, then this is why I don't take it, because then I don't have to call and cancel it and then, do a really fast post from my website saying that, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be at such and such a place today, and I will reschedule and post it up as soon as I know when that will be. And I had to cancel a couple of engagements a few years back, and I just don't I just don't like doing it. But there again, I am not going to put anybody in danger, and I'm certainly not going to put myself in danger or my youngest son, who drives me to quite a few different events that I do out of the area. And so, and most managers are, they're very accommodating when it comes to things like that, or at least they should be. Um, that there was another aspect there too, with different managers over the years that I've had experience with, and learn the business through, and the back and forth that goes on. Um, One thing I think that all managers need to keep in mind when they're coping and doing business with, especially self-published authors. Um, when an author contacts a manager about a possible book signing or an event in their store, it would be nice, and not only nice, but um, courteous, if they would return the correspondence, if they would reply to an email in a decent amount of time. I mean, you have to remember, and I think every author does, at least the ones that I know, and I do myself, realize that the world doesn't revolve around us, and the managers of the stores, or whoever is in charge of booking authors to come into the stores, um, realize that they're busy. They have their days off, and they're not in the store to be able to reply. But as soon as they can, it would be nice if they would stop and take the time to answer an email, answer an author who's making an inquiry, because the author is trying to build their social calendar, their work calendar, so that they can go out and about and get their work out to the public, meet the public. But there are managers who, it's like pulling teeth to try to get them to get back to you. And you don't want to constantly be sending reminders, because I mean, come on, we're not desperate. Um, but it would be nice, and it would be very, very courteous to answer the author And regardless, whether you can accommodate them when they're asking for a date or whether you can't, but at least get back to them in a decent amount of time and let them know so that they can, okay, if you can't accommodate me at this particular week or this month or whatever, then fine, I will just, go on to others. There's always somebody else. And so I think that is one of my biggest bugaboos, I think, in this business, is just the tardy correspondence. And then again, there are those who are they're right bang on. As soon as you write to them, it's only a couple of days, if that, and they get back to you. And that's great, because when they do that, then you can go on and get things done and fill your calendar, and that's great. I mean, when you work on consignment in the different bookstores, part of the consignment is that if you have a book in the store on consignment, you have to show up. It's up to you to make the arrangements, not up to the store to do it. It's up to the author. But you have to come and do book signings. So here we go again. So you're holding up your end of it. You're calling to make arrangements to come in the store where your book is and do a public event, do a book signing, do a reading, whatever, a meet and greet, whatever it may be, and in return for your book being in there for the allotted time that it's supposed to be in there for, which is supposed to be 90 days. And I'm terrible, and I'm the first to admit it, that I very often go over the time of having a book in before I go to see if they want to sign it back in on consignment again for another 90 days, or whether I need to pick it up and, it's done its time there. But as they say, it's up to the author to get in touch with the store to arrange these public events. Well, that's all well and good, and you try to do it, but when the managers don't bother to get back to you, what are you supposed to do? Okay? So, I mean, there's just another little bit of info that anybody that's in this business or contemplating getting into this business should know. And I think it's great when authors tend to share what what they know, and their experience with others, especially those who are just starting out, and they don't know anything about it. They don't know what they're supposed to do. So it is certainly nice to be able to, here's my hand, let me, if you need some advice, don't be afraid to ask me, and I'll try my best to help you out. And I certainly would have appreciated it when I was starting out. So that's part of the reason why I think it's great to be able to pull from my experience now, good and bad, and to be able to share that on with those of you who, may be interested in finding out what it's like. You got to come into this field with your eyes wide open, and understand that just because you put a book out there doesn't mean it's going to be a success. Might be, then again it may not. It may take, many books, and then again it still may never happen. So you have to go into it with your eyes wide open, that it may, you put a book out and it may get picked up right away, and all of a sudden it becomes a fantastic success. But don't go into it thinking that that's going to happen, because very rarely does it happen. Doesn't even happen with authors from standard houses that get picked up. Not like it once did. Nowadays, a standard house, they will not take an unsolicited manuscript, which means that you have to have an agent. You can't just finish your manuscript, polish it up the best you can, um, put your nice cover letter on there, and send it off to whatever house you choose to send it to, or multiple houses, and expect that it's even going to get looked at, because 9 times out of 10 it won't even make it through the door. Definitely not on the desk of an editor. And so you have to have an agent, and agents can be difficult to obtain as well. They take 10% of what they can sell your work for, and they don't take that until after they sell your work to the house. But nowadays, the marketing still falls on your shoulders. You have signed your rights away to your work in order to get a contract, and so you have no further say on what becomes of your work after you sign that away. And I understand, I don't know if this is excuse me, if this is true 100%. So don't hold me to it if somebody finds out that it's not. My disclaimer here on the screen, that the advance that you're given on what they think, the book is going to sell, and they're going to at least get this advance back, if not much, much more, and then they will pay you royalties based then on your sales. But if the book does not sell, or if it doesn't exceed the advance that the author is given, the house demands a certain percentage of that advance back. So I still can't understand why so many up-and-coming writers think, oh well, I've got to go that route. I have to be picked up by a standard house. No, you do not. You make sure that you research the self-publishing company that you choose to go with. You find out everything you can. You talk to them in advance. You don't have to sign on the dotted line the minute you talk to the agent there. And beware. Don't get talked into things. Just make sure you understand everything. Need be, take it to a lawyer and make sure that it's on the ups and this company is reputable. Check them out on the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out on there's up-teen sites on the internet that watchdogs of different publishing companies, to get an idea of who is reputable, those who are not. I should have written down the names of some of these places, but if you just go to Google and you put in reviews for self-publishing companies, good and bad, it will take you to places where you can read about all these different companies, and to be able to help you make an informed decision, because it is something you really do need to know before you advance to that part of the process of writing and publishing a book. I think that there's a lot of people look at a writer when you write and think that, oh, what a glamorous life you lead, to just write a book, put a book out, and the money is pouring in, and you're living on easy street. You become a self-made gazillionaire because you wrote a book. And this is why I say, be realistic. The chance of that happening would be worse than any lottery. Um, Winning the Irish sweepstakes, like, but there again, you don't know if you don't try. And so I hope this series of impromptu videos that I've been doing has been enjoyable for those of you on the other side of the screen. I certainly have had a lot of enjoyment bringing them to you, sitting here on my patio talking about this and talking about that, and trying just off the top of my head and trying to decide, is this worth talking about? Was that informative enough? Was that enjoyable enough? Um, and make it, open the door, open the window to what it is that I do and so many other writers do, and your hopes and your the exasperations of it, and the rewards of it. Um, if you have the chance to put your work into competitions, do so. There again, um, it's getting your work noticed, it's getting you noticed as the author, and you don't know where they can lead. When I entered the Perils of Autumn into the International Book Awards contest out of Los Angeles this past spring, in the genre of romance, I didn't know. I paid my entry fee, packaged a copy of the book up, a paperback of the book up, and sent it, and never thought any more about it, just kissed the cover, said a prayer and hope for the best and sent it out there. And lo and behold, I was notified early this summer that Perils of Autumn was chosen as among 6 finalists in the genre of romance. And there was over 200,000 entries. So I guess being a finalist, even though you're one of 6, not bad. And so it just helps to bring that much more recognition to the Perils of Autumn. It was already given a 5-star rating from Readers' Favorite Books by about 6 different readers that read the book. They're professional readers, and they're not professional editors or anything like that, but they're professional readers. They do this, and they give you their honest opinion on the book, and they rate it. And out of the 6 that read my book, read Perils of Autumn, 5 of them gave 5 stars, and 1 gave a 4. And a 4 is not shabby by any means. Passions in Paris, Revelations of a Lost Diary is a 4-star. It was given 4 stars by Amazon. So there again, 5 is as much as you can get, the highest you can go, but 4 is nothing to sneeze at. And so, I'm going to keep on keeping on. I love what I do. Every time I sit down at my keyboard and I either begin a new piece or I'm, continuing what I'm writing, the manuscript is growing, it is just a wonderful environment that I immerse myself in. And I love my characters. I love being among my characters. And it may sound kind of funny for those of you hearing this, but you converse with your characters. You get to know them as though they actually exist, and they're right there with you in whatever scene it is you're writing, or as I should say, that the writer is with them in the scene that the writer is creating. And I've had a wonderful time in each title that I have written. I look forward to growing the Derwood Tug Bottom series, with the 4th installment coming later this year or early in 2020. And right now I am writing the follow-up to the Perils of Autumn, Return to Autumn, and I'm just starting chapter 16. So that's not bad. It's still first draft, but still, that's not shabby. Especially, you know, I've been on downtime over the summer, on my summer holidays, and writing, you know, when I can. And so now that fall is coming, and that's my very favorite time of the year. Um, you know, the days get shorter, and it's chilly, and the air is so fresh and crisp, and I, you know, settle down to my computer, to my keyboard, and continue to create the story that I'm immersing myself into. And I hope that The Perils of Autumn has been received extremely well. It's doing well. And I'm glad that it is being welcomed and enjoyed like it is. Um, if you have read The Perils of Autumn, I do hope you enjoyed it, and I would love to hear from you. So, you know, to just let me know if you enjoyed it, if you would kindly rate it from 1 to 5. And I think that's one of the biggest things that any author hopes to hear, that it's the feedback from someone who has read their work. Um, because a self-published author does not have a big standard house behind them. Um, so therefore, the self-published author depends on word of mouth from one person who has read your work, telling a friend or a family member about, I've just read such and such a book by Rusty Blackwood, and I really, really enjoyed it. You might be interested in getting a copy. Um, I mean, as an author, I cannot say to someone, please don't share the book after you bought it. I mean, when you buy it, it becomes your property. If you wish to share it, then that's up to you. But the thing of it is, that is how sales are made. The self-published author does not have this big house behind them putting their books into every possible bookstore around the world. So when someone does purchase your work, either from the author or from a bookstore where the book happens to be, or orders it from their order desk or at the cash, or they order it online, or they download a Kindle, whatever, it is so nice to have the feedback from the person who bought the book and read the book, um, for somebody else contemplating on giving the book a try. So therefore, if you just share it, you know, the book is not producing any income to the author to be able to carry on with whatever they require to continue to work and to continue to write. But the least people can do, I think, if somebody shares a book that they've bought somebody else, it would be nice for that person who is receiving that book through a share to at least write a review and have something to say about that book or recommend that book on to somebody else. So I hope that you'll take that to heart and remember that. So I'm going to close. I don't want to let this video run on too awfully long. Video 11, I think I let it go a little too long. But again, I thank you so very, very much for tuning in to this series and letting me sit here on my patio and talk to each of you and, you know, have that rapport, even though it is on a computer screen here back and forth. But do visit my website. Say hello to me if you do. Make a comment, you know, say hi, Rusty, you know, whatever. And I promise, I get back to you. So I'm going to close this video now, and I'm going to invite you all to join me at Halloween time, and I'm going to do a couple of Halloween readings. One is a poem and another is a story that I wrote from my children's short story collection, Through the Eyes of Innocence, and the one poem is from my second collection of poetry called Impressions. And I think you might like both of them. I don't know how eerie I can make it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it out here or where, but we shall see. And I'm looking forward to that. And I may also visit you before Halloween on October 5th, which is my birthday. And I may do a birthday video this year. Last year, the last couple of years, a lot of my characters have been sending me birthday messages and wishes, and I share them on Facebook and on my website. And I've got a feeling that maybe this year some of them will be doing it again. And so I like to share some of them with you. And so I will post it up on my website and let everybody know if it's coming, and if so, when. So please do join me. Please stay in contact with me. Go to my website, go to my Facebook, my Twitter, and we shall continue from there. I hope you like this video. Please click the like button if you do, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see if we can get the subscription numbers up. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. And so with that, I will thank each and every one of you for letting me spend time with you on my patio, and check out my work. It's on Amazon, it's on my website. You can find out all you need to know about it and about me by going there and checking it out. So God's blessings to each one of you. Do stay safe, be well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.